All right, Khan, Shalom, Shalom, Israel, Shalom, to the 12 tribes of Yasha Allah, giving records, all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, by Shema Masha, woman like Yahweh Shah. That's all praises, honor, glorification unto the Most High God, Yahweh, in the name of only God, Son Yahweh Shah, this brother Yasha Allah. All right, I'm going to get straight into this. This is going into the book of Sirach, chapter 12, and verse number 1 through 2. All right, Sirach, chapter 12, and verses 1 through 2. All right, it says, when thou would do good, know to whom thou doest it, so shalt thou be thanked for thy benefits. So exactly, this is wisdom right here, because what the Lord is essentially saying is that when you do good, you want to know who you're doing good to. You want to know what they're using it for, how are they going to receive your good. All right, now we know that when you go to the book of Matthew, chapter 5. Let's go to Matthew chapter 5. And verse number let me see here, right? 43, it says, ye have heard that it had been said, thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thine enemy. But I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you. So the Lord said that we have to love our enemies and actually do good to those that don't do good to us, right? Now, that's what the Lord said, though, right? That's what the Lord said, that we have to do good to those that hate us, namely within our own nation. But the Lord said when you do good, you want to know to whom you're doing it good. You want to know who this person is that you're doing that good to, right? For example, if you're out giving alms and you're giving away money or something like that, you want to give somebody some money. Now, we have to use wisdom and discretion about giving out money, because you can come up to a homeless man, right? Even of our own nation can come up to you and ask you for a couple dollars, just ask you for a couple dollars, right? And they may say it's for food, but sometimes you can't just take their word for it and just give them $100, right? Because what are they going to do with that money? You know what I'm saying? Hey, God knows, right? And he smells like weed, and he's drunk, all right? He might just use that money just to get intoxicated and get drunk, right? So we don't want to do good to those, right? We don't want to essentially give money to those that's just going to use it for sin, right? Because even when we go down to verse 4, it says, give to the godly man and help not the sinner, right? The Lord said, give to the godly man and don't even help the sinner, right? Sometimes we shouldn't even try to even help out sinners, right? Because what they're going to do with that help is just to indulge in more sin. Why would we give $100 to a crackhead? Why would we give, you understand? Why would we give? I'd rather spend that $100 and give it to a godly man to whom I know he's going to use that money for a good reason. You understand? So I'm going to keep going in this, though. It says, Sirach, chapter 12, verse 1, it says, right, when thou would do good, Slaki, when thou will do good. And it's Slaki, I got a precept for that, actually, doing good to the godly man, right? Doing good to the godly man. It's the book of 1 Samuel. All right, I want to get 1 Samuel. Because even in the ancient world, they gave gifts onto the prophets, right? They gave gifts onto the prophets. Let's go to 1 Samuel. I forgot exactly what this was. Okay, 1 Samuel chapter 9, verse 7. All praises. 1 Samuel chapter 9, verse 6, it says, and he said unto him, behold, now there is in this city a man of God, and he is an honorable man. All that he saith cometh surely to pass. Now let us go thither. Peradventure he can show us our way that we should go. So, of course, you had in the ancient world, and even now you have prophets, men of God, men of the Most High, who can give you righteous judgment, all right, who can give you righteous knowledge, wisdom, understanding, right? Verse 7, then said Saul to his servant, but behold, if we go, what shall we bring the man? For the bread is spent in our vessels, and there is not a present to bring to the man of God. What have we? So they brought presents and gifts to the men of the Most High, because they knew that they're doing a good work. They want to give that present to him because they're doing a good work, right? That's why when we give alms and when we give, money, donations, namely is to the godly. That doesn't mean that you can't give it to somebody in the world. You can't give it to somebody that doesn't necessarily believe in this truth to help them out. because that's still our people. But at the same time, you know, presents and gifts, you know, when you give to the godly man, you know, your conscience is not condemned, because you understand that that man or woman is a godly person, and they're not just going to use that money to freak off, right? Verse 8, or money or whatever that you have given them. Verse 8, and the servant answered Saul again and said, behold, I have here at hand the fourth part of a shekel of silver, that will I give to the man of God to tell us our way. All right. So they had a present for him. Because that's why even when it says so in back in Sirach 12, it says, so shalt thou be thanked for thy benefits. You also want to be thanked for your benefits, right? If you give to the sinner, if you give to the ungrateful, you're not even going to be thanked, right? Because they're ungrateful, right? I'm going to get this precept. This is 2 Peter chapter 3, right? Salakia. Actually, I wanted 2 Timothy 4, Salakia. Or 2 Timothy 3, Salakia. 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse number 1. Praises, it says, this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come, and we're living in those days, right? For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy. So if we give in to the unthankful, which you sometimes should, right? Which we should sometimes have to, we have to give to the unthankful, even on the spiritual level, giving alms to our people that are unthankful. Here we are standing in 100-degree heat or whatever the case may be, standing hours upon end, you know, risking and sacrificing our life, putting our life on the line for Yahweh and for our nation. And you have certain Jakes and Eves and of our people, right, both northern and southern kingdom, literally casting these words behind their back. And they're unthankful for what we do, right? Through the Spirit, they're unthankful. Even you can try to give people a spiritual alms, free food through the Spirit. If you got ears to hear, free food, you know, free spiritual food, wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and they're unthankful. They don't want it, right? They don't want it. They're unthankful, and you know what I'm saying, and they just refuse it, man. But you know, you also want to be thankful for your benefits, and it's about expounding. Right, in verse 2 it says, do good to the godly man, and thou shalt find a recompense, and if not from him, yet from the Most High. So the Lord said that if you do good to the godly man, you're going to find a recompense. That recompense is not a bad one. It's a good one, right? And the Lord said, and if not from him, yet from the Most High. Because remember, the godly man, contrary to the wicked, he's going to actually repay you. He's going to try to find a way to repay you for what you gave him. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 37 and verse 21. The wicked borroweth and payeth not again, but the righteous showeth mercy and giveth. So the wicked is going to borrow, but he's not going to pay back again. Okay? So the wicked, he's going to borrow. He's not going to pay you back, though. You know, you can have a brother borrow your money every Friday. He's borrowing your money. $20 here, $5 here, $10 here. And you're merciful unto him. And you give him the money because you have it like that. And even if you don't have it like that, you still giving him your money. You know, and you know, in the back of your mind, okay, this brother, you know, I know he's using it for good purposes. I know that he needs it, right? But the Lord said that the wicked, he's going to borrow and not pay back again. So we have to ask ourselves, are we that person? Have we been borrowing of another man's whatever, right? Money, it don't even matter. Borrowing of his substance and not paying that back again. All right, we have to understand, and paying it back is not just, it doesn't necessarily have to be in currency, right? But the Lord said that the righteous, guess what? They're going to pay you back. The wicked is going to borrow, but they're not going to pay you back. They're going to just keep taking your money. Let's say they're going to keep taking your money and just get on with life. You're going to take $100 and just get on with life, bro, and just move on. He's not going to pay you back. So that's why when we give, you know, when we do good to the evil and to the sinner, they don't even expect nothing back, man. You know, mostly, even especially if it's Jake, you give Jake $100, you give Jake $50 or whatever. You know, it's not coming back, man. You know, just on a physical level, it's not coming back. Now, if it does come back, right, the Most High has granted you that. But when we really just look at the dynamics of our people, the Lord is literally saying that the wicked is going to borrow, but they don't pay you back again. But the righteous shows mercy and give it. So the righteous is going to show mercy. He's going to give. The righteous man is actually going to try to recompense you each and every way he can. Right? It says, "Do good to the godly man, and thou shalt find a recompense. And if not from him, yet from the Most High." So even if he doesn't even get around to it, maybe the Most High beats him to the chase, and the Most High gives you that recompense. However the Lord sees fit, man. You know, and that's just something that we also have to keep in mind. Sirach chapter 3, verse 31, it says, "And he that requiteth good turns," meaning he that commits, acts of kindness, right? That's a good turn, is mindful of that which may come hereafter. He's mindful of the future, right? And when he falleth, he shall find a stay. So we know that we're bound to fall in the future. So when we know that, and we do good to those that's around us, and these people that we're doing good to are righteous, guess what? When you fall, they're going to help you back up, because they remembered when they was down, and then you helped them. See, certain people in the world, they operate like that, but the Most High in this truth is even so much more of a reason why we should do that, because the world, they play by just rules that concepts that they've been raised up in, America's guidelines, their own guidelines, or whatever their own vain mind. All right, that's what America and people in the world run off of, just basically vain things. All right, just doctrines of men, right? Which some of which can actually line up with the scriptures because they get it from the scriptures. But nevertheless, when we're actually following the totality of the Bible, it encourages us to repay back again, right? To repay back again, and to return those favors, man, that we give to each other, right? Because we're there literally to pick each other back up, right? That's why the Lord said, "Not forsaking the assembly of ourselves together." It's Hebrews chapter 10, verse 25. It says, "Not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much the more as ye see the day approaching." So the Lord constantly exhorts us to exhort one another. The Lord admonishes us to exhort one another. And the Lord said, "Don't forsake the assembling of yourselves together, as the manner of some is," because certain people, they may not want to get together and congregate in groups of righteousness, But the Lord said, exhorting one another, and so much more as you see the day approaching. We see that all hell is literally about to break loose. We see that World War III is at hand. We see that Yahweh Shah's coming back. So with that in mind, right, we do these things. We try to keep all these precepts lined up, right, and do it to the best of our ability. But with that, all praises to Yahweh Shah, Yahweh Shah. The water for tuning in. All praises to the Most High. Again, Kwame Asha Allah. Shalom.